What's up everybody, Alex here from the 128 channel, and today we'll be reviewing my setup for the two RTAs that I ran at the second annual 128 Nats in San Antonio, Texas at RCHQ. And we'll just kind of review springs, ride height, the motor, pinions, stuff like that, batteries, tires. We'll go from there. So first up, we're just going to have the pan car since it's already here. RTA 1.2, meaning it has the V2 front end. Ignored this 3D printed part. I was just trying to play with some droop, but as you can tell, I didn't put any screws in. So anyways, this is going to be my pan car. I was testing some Giulio shocks just to test them and see how they were. Felt good. Nothing, didn't gain or lose anything from the stock RTA ones like I'm using in this one. So all good so far. So I guess we'll just work kind of from the front and make ourselves go to the back side of the car. First up, obviously, RTA front bumper. Pretty sweet. Carbon. Looks good. Had to shave down a lot of it due to the rule of the having 2 millimeters. Body clearance and bumper. So that's why it looks all janky. After that, we'll go to the sway bar. Sway bar is on a blue sway bar, which is kind of what I run on all my cars, honestly. But that's really it. Yeah, just a blue sway bar on there. I do have a A07 servo, so kind of like the big block servo. 0.5 shims just to bring it up due to the battery that I run. I am running a servo saver as well. That's really almost it in the front. Moving our way to the battery, we do have a Marco 450 battery that I'm running. Stock rebound spring with a yellow top shock spring. 15K dampening grease from Kyosho. Stock spring for the top plate. And then just the top disc. I don't run the bottom disc or the bottom spring. ESC is a Hobby Wing Mini 128 decased. Hobby Wing 5000 motor on a 12-tooth pinion, 53 gearing on a gear diff. Grip came up pretty good and the gear diff felt absolutely great, so I kept it on compared to the ball diff. I am running 2 weights in the front of the car. Aluminum chassis, or rear pod, sorry, with a brass chassis. Went with Marco 5s all weekend. I was running our Marco V5 F10s that we've been testing, but ran out of tire and only had 1 set left. So I threw on some firms in the front, 14 rear, 11 in the fronts, on the reflex wheels, the -1.5s. So far so good. I did swap to 1-degree knuckles on this car, and I have a tremendous amount of toe out on this car. I didn't really want to mess with it too much, but I am going to start maybe towing it in just to make it a little easier to drive into a corner entry. So we'll go ahead and move on into ride height. A lot of people ask me what my ride height is, where it's at and stuff. I don't ever really measure it, so be interesting to find out. Tires are the same from the mains and stuff, so see where we're at in the front. Oh, that can't be right. Did I really run it this high? I don't even know. See? I probably did run. Okay, no. So right about 1.75 in the front. Give or take. Yeah, 1.75 or so. And in the rear, about the same. So 1.75 on front and rear on this car. And then we'll go ahead and just measure tires, just because why not? We're already here. So for the fronts, right at 22.3 something. 22.3 something is kind of where it's at. I did run out of those Marca fronts on after heat 1. This is probably why these are so tall. Alright, so right around 22.3 is where I ended up at in the front. These had like 2 battery packs on them because I traded them 22.7. And then the rears, 24.6, 24.5, somewhere around there. I don't know, somewhere around there, 24.6. Actually, these are kind of fairly new. Still got some tread on there. So that's pan car. I did have a 8.5 hot lap with this car during a qualifier, but I only did it once, so it felt really good at that point, and the car was doing really well. We'll go ahead and move on into our two-wheel drive. Essentially almost the same. I forgot to mention I am on red springs on this car, pan car, and red pivot springs. Essentially almost the same on this car. Nothing too crazy far off. RT front bumper, blue sway bar, front red springs on our own shocks. A07 servo, Marco 450 battery, no weights on this one. Aluminum rear pod, brass pod, stock shock springs, quite a bit of droop, I guess. Maybe not, I don't know. Marco 5s, and the exact same thing. I had the same issue with this one. I only had one set of Marco V5 F10s on 11s, so I went to firms on this as well. Just like my pan car, stock dampening spring on top shock top disc only, gear diff, but this one's on a 4500 tooth pinion or 4500 tooth. Oh my God, 4500 kV motor on a 14 tooth pinion. 53 spur gear diff. Go ahead and check the ride height on this car too. 1.75, 1.75. So both cars are 1.75. The only thing is that this one I didn't put brass, and the top shock's a little different. And I don't think I have as much toe out. It doesn't look like I do on this car. Definitely not. Definitely don't have as much toe out as that one. So it's something to look forward to. I'll probably end up changing the top shock spring on this pan car over here to the stock, and then probably put the same length on the rods for the toe. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Hobby wing stock ESC settings, nothing crazy. I did use our Marco body, which is filthy. As you can tell, I haven't cleaned it. This car did great. It was very well balanced, had enough steering. And then the Mark IMR. So yeah, that's my setup for both my cars that I ran at the 120 nets. Got any questions? Feel free to comment below. I'll answer whatever I can. I'm on Facebook quite a bit, so you guys go ahead and make sure you like, subscribe, and just reach out to me and help me grow the channel. Cool. Thanks, guys. See you guys later.